Back with us now, Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman, it's good to have you back on. Okay, sir, this disturbing story. The U.S. consulate in Mexico, just across the border from Laredo, Texas, a major gunfight. That consulate was hit with gunfire on its doorstep. Basically, fires were also set. After a drug gang leader's arrest, they had to temporarily shut down, workers urged to stay inside. So a gunfight affecting a U.S. government building.
It's just awful, and this is very typical stuff. We've had shots fired before. I've seen the video of this. It's horrible. But let me just first say, Liz, great to be back with you. Thank you for covering this absolutely very vital issue that our country is facing at the hands of the Biden administration. The mainstream media doesn't cover it. It's all Ukraine, and rightfully so. Ukraine is very important, but this is a national security humanitarian disaster that is going on. Men and women and children are dying at the hands of the cartels. It's impacting American citizens. As you just said, we had shots fired at the U.S. consulate, and numerous 18-wheeler trucks have been set on fire by this gang. And it seems to be out of control, and yet the Biden administration just continues to turn its back and ignore these types of things.
And then we've got reports that Homeland Security may tell Mexico that the Trump-era Title 42 policy, it turns back illegal border crossers because of the pandemic. It may expire in April. They may not bring it back, and the worry is it could cause a rise in more attempted border crossings. I mean, Border Patrol apprehended 165,000 illegal border crossers in February. That's up 60% from last year, sir. It's on track to beat last year's arrest of 1.7 million, not to mention the gotaways. So it looks like we're taking in more than the population of Kansas.
Well, that's Title 42 is really one of the last tools we have from the Trump era, who controlled the border quite well in 2020. And to do away with that is just sheer insanity, irresponsibility, and quite frankly, just a violation of the oaths of office that the President Mayorkas and Vice President Harris have taken. It's inexcusable to do away with this program. They did away with the MPP remain in Mexico. The federal courts have ordered that to be reinstated. The administration is foot dragging. It's simply not happening. And now they're going to do away with Title 42. They say it's inhumane. Let me tell you what's inhumane. That is the Biden border policy, getting people killed, raped, murdered, and 2 million coming across the border that we know of in a year's time. And in the first 5 months of this fiscal year, we're almost to 1 million right now. As you said, we're on track to surpass last year. And simply, they simply will not pay attention and start protecting Americans and their property and the migrants themselves.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
That's terrible.
Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Mr. Paxton, we've had repeatedly people on our show talking about the chaos and crime in neighborhoods and communities at the border. It's worse than it's ever been. Illegal trespassing, destroying property, cutting down fences that hold in cattle, breaking into homes, destroying property inside homes, sometimes pointing a gun at people's heads. It's worse than it's ever been, sir. So that's the untold story also of what's going on at the border.
Well, this is why it's so important for our governor and our state government in the great state of Texas. We're the only ones really pushing back on this issue. Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution gives the right, the authority, and the power of states to protect themselves, because the mandate of that Article 4, Section 4 says the federal government will protect the states from invasion. They are not doing. They're not doing this whatsoever. And so the governor and his administration and our state legislature, we have started building our own wall. And we have taken materials that simply are not being used by the Biden administration. We have gotten them. They're 30-foot tall bolsters, barriers that we can put up ourselves. Everything was going fine until the Biden administration found out that the contractors and the Abbott administration in Texas were getting together and getting these materials. And now the Biden administration has put a stop to that.
You know, we're a humanitarian country. We want to take in asylees and refugees, right? you
That's
know,
right.
women and children. We get that, but the preponderance of those crossing are single males. Switching gears in Florida, EMT rescuers are deeply troubled by what one is calling a cluster of fentanyl cases. 10 people at 2 homes hospitalized because of lethal drug fentanyl in a matter of 3 days. Your final word, quickly.
My final word, I'm a healthcare practitioner. Fentanyl belongs in the operating room in the hands of an anesthesiologist. And this is now the main cause of death from 18 to 45-year-olds, and it's coming over that border.
Congressman Babin, good to see you. Thank you so much for watching.